What up, guys? It's your boy UAG back in the building. How you guys doing? We out here trying to have fun, and I got a couple of things sent to me, and I'm a little excited. What up, Brad? My man, the man. So I'm here because I wanted to go live a little bit. It's not gonna be a long stream. It's kind of short, but you can expect from me a review very soon on this bad boy. This is the Legends Gamepad, and I just wanted to give you some initial feedback on it, tell you how it is. I saw Brad. I'm excited about that mayhem. Looks like a good game. Boston, what's up, my man? How you doing, bro? I haven't seen you in a bit. So, wanted to talk a little bit about this bad boy and the things that you can do with it. Um, it's a cool little thing here. Meatball Saucy, what's up, my brother? So it got some cool things about it, and let's see here if I can get a good view on this. So here it goes. It has the shape of the Skylar. What up, bro? Let me know if you still hear me, because sometimes when I switch the camera, it acts a little funny. Um, so it has the shape of a Xbox controller, but it's what's up? Show me retro. It looks very much like a. It feels like it. It's a little bit narrower. Now, there's initial thoughts. I like when I took it out. I like the way it looked, and everything. I will say this though. MCAP was good, my brother. So I will say this: the plastic and the weight to it, it feels kind of cheap. To be honest with you, um, it feels like the plastic that you would get off of a third party controller. Um, so like a MCAT or something like that. However, the feel in your hand, it feels like a natural grip, and the buttons are very responsive and clicky. Um, so there's that. Well, I will say one thing I did not like, and I'll this will be my review, is the initial setup of this thing. So when you hit this home button, that puts it in pairing mode, right? However, 8-bit dough better quality. I would say 8-bit dough is better quality. Um, but I will say this: so when you hit this and it'll go into pairing mode, it pairs relatively easy. That's what I'm gonna get to, Brad. So when you pair it, it pairs relatively easy, but your your natural inclining is that it once you pair it, you're good. You should be able to move around. You can't. So I was butting my head against the wall over and over and over. And the good thing about the community is that someone has probably had the same issue that you had. So Jason over in our forums, he was helping me out, and he got it working, but he don't know how he got it working. So we put two and two together, and what he did was, I still owe you, River. It will be on my next video. Don't worry. So what me and Jason figured out is that you actually have to map the controls so you can use this. You have to. You have to. If you do not map this, it doesn't work. So there's a tile, and I'll show it in my review. There's a tile you hit, and it says, control settings. You hit that, and you're gonna select the Legends pad. And when you hit you hit the select on the gamer pad, then you just run through the mapping. Once you do that, it works. However, I did speak to Adkins and I told him, you first of all, that's not in the instructions, and it really shouldn't work that way. It should just be plug and play. Yep. So you have to do that. So AdGames is aware of it. They said they're going to probably fix that in the firmware. Um, but it is something that is really frustrating to me because in human nature, that just wouldn't work that way. So once I got through all the aches and pains of connecting it, and it seems like that's the way, especially with new products with that games, you have to go through those hurdles. But once you do that, it's a nifty little thing. Um, so I was able to play it with my Legends Gamer Mini Puck. I was able to play it with the Legends um, Gamer Pro Puck. I was able to play it on the ALU, and I also was able to play it with the ALP. So it works. However, you have to jump through some hoops to get it to work. So I want to be honest with you. Your boy is going to be honest with you. You do have to map it to every device. Or better yet, once you map it to the device, you have to open it through that settings tab. I think you only have to open it because I went to remap it, but the buttons were already mapped. So I figured all you have to do is basically it's kind of like activate it on the other units. So there's that. Um, I will make sure when I test it out again on the ALP because I deleted it. So I'm going to do that again. Um, so that's my initial thoughts. For $30, it's not a bad little device. It does not work with the iPad. I was trying to play cloud gaming with my Xbox console through my iPad because I was doing that today on my with my Xbox controller, and it worked really well. But when I tried the gamepad, Legends gamepad, it's not compatible with that. Oh, it doesn't seem like everybody. Well, Jay's saying it doesn't seem like everybody has to go through that. He's the gentleman that helped me. Um, Jay. He helped. He's been on our show about the Legends pinball. So if not everybody has to do it, I don't know. We'll find out for sure when other people do it. But so it doesn't work with the iPad. Um, but there's not a lot of devices that are compatible with the iPad. So there's that. Um, I am gonna test it out with some other things like my consoles and Windows before I do my full review. But this is just initial thoughts of the product, what I think about it, and what I think. So for $30, I think it's a good buy. Um, I do want them to fix that bug in terms of mapping it and making sure that it just works out the box once you connect it to. Especially the thing is you want it to work perfectly when you're setting it up to a a Legends pinball or a gamer mini or anything like that. You want it to work straight out the box, just like that. So if if it if they fix that and it works for everybody, not selective, it should work for everybody straight out the box. You turn it on and it works, that would be good. That's not a hard ask. Like it's kind of like the PlayStation 5. When you turn on a PlayStation 5 controller, it will connect to a PlayStation 5. It should be seamless, especially when you're working within your own ecosystem, right? I mean, I had to map it to the Gamer Mini and the Gamer Pro. I don't believe I had to do it with the Legends pinball. I just had to open it up. But we're gonna test it again. It's just, come on. Me boss also agrees with me. Skylar agrees with me. It, that's that should be very essential. I really, I would say like you have to test your products out before getting it out to the masses. So you want to make sure that there's no bugs. That's all. That's what we want. That's what we want as consumers, to make sure that things work the way they should be, intuitive. Not we're not trying to reinvent the wheel. If you turn on a product, it should automatically connect, especially if it's with from the same manufacturer, right? It's not like I'm trying to hook. Now I could say if I was trying to hook this up to an Xbox and I had to do button mapping, then that makes sense because it's an Xbox. Xbox doesn't know what this shit's supposed to do, or the PlayStation. It shouldn't know what I'm trying to do, or the computer. But if I hook it up to something that's from AtGames, you damn Skippy, it should work, and it should work seamlessly. This is true. This is true, and Meatball Sauce, he pointed that out, and rightfully so. They fixed it. I mean, one of the great things is that they do have the firmware updates to fix this, but at the same time, we shouldn't have to fix new products. Shouldn't have to fix new products. The products that are new, especially new, should have most of those. If not, they shouldn't have any of those kind of bugs. They should work. I understand that little things will slip through, but making sure that a controller works in every direction, that's something that shouldn't slip through. If you really want to be honest, that's something that shouldn't slip through, right? They, dude, they will fix it. They will fix it, but it's just frustrating. Kind of like when the gamer the core came out, and the core couldn't get controller support, and it took a while for them to get controller support. And then when they finally did do controller support for they didn't put it for the Gamer Mini and the Gamer Pro. Like we shouldn't have to those kind of hiccups shouldn't do it. The gamer pad is not butter smooth yet. It will be. It will be. FCAP. It's not butter smooth yet. But like I say, out of 5 stars, I'd give it a 3. Knocking one down because I don't like that it doesn't weigh. It has to have a nice weight to it. So because it doesn't have the nice weight to it and the plastic doesn't feel premium, I knocked it down a notch. That's one. And then the second one, Don, what up, my brother? And then the second one is not having seamless connection to the Legends arcade family. Like it should just connect easily without button that and stuff like that. And Jay said that there's users that don't have that issue. Well, I do, so I can only speak to my own experience, right? So there's that. Bobby got a Bluetooth mini keyboard mouse on the other side of the gamepad. Only took 4 weeks until the left stick got drift. So but again, just my initial thoughts on it. I'd like I said, give it 3 stars. Um, I would still buy it. I think it's a decent price point for what it's worth. $30 for this. Yeah, I would like it to be compatible with some other things. So I'm going to test it out before I give that final verdict on that because I want to make sure that it works seamlessly with I'm going to try it with Steam on the PC. I'm going to try it on some other things, probably some consoles, see if it hooks up to the Xbox or the PlayStation. Um, Probably not, but it's worth a shot because it is a Bluetooth and trying to see what other things. Name in the chat. What do you think that this should be working? It is rechargeable. There's no batteries. They did that infamous no brick. They gave you a cable. Hey, come on, for $30, throw me a dollar brick in there. I mean, I got 100 cables and still no bricks. Like, where am I getting that bricks for? Yeah, seems worth it's worth it for $30. I will tell you that. You know, but if I'm not 100% sure, I'm gonna try my if the Xbox controller works and you get a good sell on that, that's worth it too. I mean, you're gonna get that premium feel. Like the weight is so different. The weight is so different when you compare these two. Like you compare this to this, like again, it's the same kind of layout, right? But you know, this has a good weight to it. It just feels good in the hands. That's what she said. It just feels good in the hand. However, this it feels very light. It should have some more weight to it. I would be afraid to like just toss this somewhere. I would think that it could break. Um, there goes that. The triggers are nice. The buttons, like it's all cool. Now, also, just a little side note, and I'll go through this on my thing. All the buttons map correctly. Now, when you're trying to rewind, you would think, your natural inkling it would be that, but that's select. So you wouldn't use that. You would have to you press the left thumb pad, and that is for rewind when you're playing any of those games that have the rewind functionality. And then when you're hooking it up, it tells you like what player you are, stuff like that. So we have that. So you know, it's not a bad little thing. $30. I spent $30 on things that was less worth it. This is, I would say, worth it, especially once they do some firmware updates. I'm sure it will be better. So there's no actual button that says rewind, meatball. You're pressing the left thumbstick down, not like the arrow down, like it's a button, and you press it and it will rewind. Man, I wish I had a Rolex watch. I mean, this Apple Watch is the next best thing for me as a Rolex. So yeah, I mean, if it was $200, Skyler, we would throw this out the wall. I Don, the only reason I'm wearing this is I guess it's kind of like a remote control to my phone. When you don't have your phone on you all the time, you want to know what's going on. That's why you got the watch there, buddy. Seems like an old school AtGames product. I mean, I could see their idea on what they were thinking. especially if you had the gamer core, you're gonna need another remote, you know, and just throw this out there. You know, they probably made this in a lot of those the same factories that MCAPS has made, and they just slapped their name on it. So, you know, you got that. Now, um, so when they tie down the firmware and fix this up, I can see some good things out of this. Um, I think it'll be good. I really want to see, and I'm gonna be doing testing on it, like to try it with a 3 or 4 player game. Like, let's say you're playing, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and you don't want everybody to be around the ALU, or you got um, Coin Ops X running, um, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles or NBA Jam. You get yourself a couple of controllers, you're good. Dude, that's one thing that can make me a little bit frustrated is that every time I turn on one of my Gamer Pros or the Gamer Mini, I gotta do an update. Like, that's the one thing. It's like the update game, like they say. Like, you turn that on, chances are there's gonna be an update. I just wish that like maybe can we get to where it's just one update a month? I'd be happy with one update a month. You know, do all your fixes or whatnot, or all your feature upgrades, and just say, here, you know what? On the first of every Friday of the month, we're gonna give you a new update. No, I love the fact, Don, you make a valid point. I love the fact that they do the updates, but we don't need them every week. We don't need them every week. All I'm saying is just gather it up. You know what? Say, here you go. Here's one, and that's it. I don't want to wait a month. But what I'm saying is, a lot of times it's not a bug. Like, you fixed everything, right? And then you're introducing features. So when you introduce those features, that would causes other issues. So instead of doing that, why don't we just wait a bit? That might that I agree with. But every time they do a firmware, like, there's been firmwares that we got where it was just a new game. Like, that doesn't need to. That doesn't need to. Yeah, Jay, I mentioned that. The rewind is to the map button. So that's what I'm saying is, like, less, sometimes less is more. Sometimes less is more. Like, just, if it's something that needs to be fixed, like the lag thing, or the frame skipping thing, do it. Do it as soon as you can, because that's really what's going to cause, an issue. Don't wait on that. As soon as you can fix it, do it. But I can wait for a while for these little things. No, and I 100%. And that was, Mike brings up this point, and I joked with Mike about this. I said, I'm not doing another update on my Legends pinball unless it's confirmed that everything is working. There's no issues, because Right now, my ALP is working beautiful. It's awesome. I don't want to introduce any bugs to it. Let's make sure it's 100% down before I do an upgrade, especially on my pinball. Also, one other thing, and I'm not a developer, so I have no idea how hard or how easy this is. But I would love for the ability to revert back to a previous firmware. So, like, let's say you had that firmware where the frame skipping was fixed, but now you got lag. There was a bunch of people, myself included, that would have been happier switching back to not have lag until they fix it. That's I think that should be an option. I think it should be an option to kind of rewind back to the previous firmware. I I'm not chatting about it because I haven't even opened it. I'm just waiting for my back box from Bobby to come. I didn't want to take a chance on possibly ruining it. I heard a lot about some people having some issues installing it. I hope you've looked at P Dubs and well, actually, Kongs Are Us video on it. It's very helpful. You got to know the way the wires go in. Wars, his MVNS came in. I know you excited. I heard that's a second quality. They say IR arcade, and right next to it is the MVSX. So I know you're happy. I know you're happy. Yep, they updated their video. They had to. And I'm glad that they updated that. They were fast to that. You you want to make sure that you don't have any issues, especially at the cost of your machine. Austin, if you've been looking, then you need to jump on it because a lot, or maybe wait because they said that there is going to be um a possible revision of that unit, and it may come out on E3 or close abouts. Who knows? Who knows if it's a new product or they just revisit that product? Um, I don't think you could go wrong with either waiting or getting it. If you get a good price, why not? So before I go, I'm gonna tease you a little bit, guys, with this. So it came in. Let's go ahead and let me get a you know let me get my unboxing knife. It's not as nice as Brad's knife with the butterfly tricks and stuff like that, but you could smell that that china on it. You can smell it. Nice little fragile sign there with the box all dented in. I'm afraid to open it because if the guys over there messed up my box, it's gonna be on. It's gonna be on. But you get a little nice little document, colored document. That's nice. Tells you the parts in the box there. It's packed very well. Nice little foam there. They're not playing. They don't want this thing damaged at all. You got your button there with the cabling. You got an extra cable. So let's not mess this bad boy up at all. Um, I- I'm luckily that I don't have to use this extra cable. They sold out. I think it was in a matter of 3 minutes. I'll find out the exact time frame. And use it for installation. Jesus Christ, this thing is tight in there. It's tight. Static electricity bag. Okay, I don't even wanna try. I mean, you know. You were late, P Dubs. When you join the party late, you sit in the back of the row. So it's not bad. It's not bad. It came out nice. I wish I was gonna have that girl in the background. I guess that was just a picture. They had a picture of a lady that was Rachel. Don't worry, I'm gonna come back to it. I'm gonna come back to it, buddy. Just for you, Dubs. Just for you. So yeah, well packaged. Um, the only thing that I questioned in terms of their packaging was the actually the ALU. Everything ever since the ALU was packaged well. The pinball machine was packaged well. The the gamepad was packaged well. I got my other thing here to compare it. There's so much more weight to this. This gamepad, it feels like it's probably 2 to 3 times more weight than this unit. And then I was telling you, the plastic, it feels it has built-in rechargeable. There's you don't even have a clip to remove it, so everything's built in, so everything's rechargeable. It gives you a cable for that micro USB. But the plastic, I feel it's equivalent to maybe MCAP's Mad Cat's controllers. Um, it's very light, but I will say in the hands it feels, like right proportions, button. It feels natural. If you played with the Xbox controller, you're gonna like it. But I wish it had more weight to it. It feels like if you toss this bad boy somewhere, or you accidentally sit on it, or if one of your kids get a hand on this, especially if you have rough kids like my boys, this thing probably won't last too long. Probably will not last too long. Hey, you rage quit, and yeah, if you rage quit, you are in trouble. You are in trouble with this bad boy. It's not gonna make it. This is not making any of those Madden games that you play. No dedicated rewind button. Weight is not good. Requires button mapping on Legends devices. There is no benefit of this controller over other devices. I won't say that because Meatball Saucy, once you get the button mapped, and everybody says there's other people saying that that's not an issue, but once you get the button map, it works. It works pretty well, and that's not the case with other controllers. There have been controllers that are not compatible with the Legends devices. So I definitely see a benefit for it, especially at the price point that it is $30. But like I said, if you can get yourself like these controllers, the Xbox controllers do go down. You can get one of these for $30. You could get one for $30. I would spend $30 on this before I spend $30 on this. I would spend $30 on this any day and night. So why wouldn't it at least have? I'm assuming they're saying they didn't want to do button, overkill it with buttons because technically these two buttons are buttons. If you press down this and you press on that those are buttons. Those buttons are not used in any of the Legends games. So they figure like, you know what? We don't need to add an extra button on that. We could just do that. So I mean, I'm assuming that's their thought process in terms of that. So again, very light, but I like it. I like it. I like the color scheme. Um, I just know that I won't be leaving this out. Not around my kids. Not around my kids. So back to my beautiful face, guys. So out of five, giving it a three. Um, I wish that I could give it higher, but with that weight, like you want something substantial. Not not a good weight. That's probably my biggest gripe with this whole thing is the weight. Yeah, double wall though. I will say that 100%. You're welcome, Dubs. That I that pretty sums it up pretty well. NOD price, yes. Regular price, probably not. Yeah, you know what? Not because for that I could get one of these, or you guys got some of those 8-bit doughs. You could do it that way. So I gotta be honest. Every product of a company is not going to be a home run. They were ambitious. They wanted to put out some products there that would be beneficial to their staff. I mean their fans and it wasn't. It wasn't a home run. I'm not gonna give it a home run. Vibs home run. The ALP home run. This yeah. So expect meatball saucy. You can't compare the two. That NVIDIA Shield controller is light years ahead in terms of that, in terms of the feel, the premiumness to it. Just you just really can't compare. Like I said, I've held one of those, and you held one of the Xbox controllers. They're like double or triple the weight. It just yeah. So, guys, again, this was a short stream. Hopefully, I saved you guys some money or got you excited about purchasing your product. If you like this information and you want to hear more about stuff like this, hit that thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, and the bell notification. You don't hit that bell, how you gonna know when daddy's coming home? You know what I'm saying? With that being said, guys, as always, thank you for stopping by. And as always, guys, keep gaming. Hunter, man, Hunter, I'm gonna buy you an alarm clock. I'm gonna buy you an alarm clock, Hunter. Hit that bell notification so you won't miss out. Keep gaming.